We're all familiar with the Sunday word prayer, and this word appears to have a different definition today than it did anciently. The ancients used a word which meant communion. Well, think about that. There's a life force in the universe that 95% of the world's population that refers to it as a higher power. Half of those people call it God. Scientists have also come to recognize a force that permeates the universe. They just don't know what to call it. Communion refers to interacting with another on a personal level, partaking and giving or sharing in the outcome of the moment, co-creating the result that I want to experience. If we're referring to this higher power, God, universal force, what does it mean to interact on a personal level, co-creating the result? You know, Gregg Braden talks about his trip to Nepal and tapping into the power or energy behind the chanting prayers of the Buddhist monks. As he learned, the chanting is not the prayer, but it's the gateway to the energy or the feeling of the prayer or answer that they're seeking. The chanting only assists them to feel an elevated emotion. You know, that same energy in the universe reacts to my human emotion. Communing with that energy field or that higher power or God with an elevated emotion is what we call true prayer. Now, Gregg Braden also talks about the Aramaic translation of a verse in the Gospel of John that provides the same information about prayer that he received in the Tibetan monasteries. In the original Aramaic it says, "Ask without hidden motive, and be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire, that your gladness may be full." Communion with the feeling that the answer is already surrounding me can bring about a higher vibrational outcome, healing my body, bringing about abundance in my life, changing my world. To be able to feel the answer is true creation. Now, this communion is real because I am a divine part of that energy field. All of us are. We are a part of that higher power, the quantum field or God. We're not a helpless wretch, but we're a powerful, worthy, divine, creative being in concert with the Creator or creative force. We are capable of creative power, capable of expecting answers. You know, scriptural teaching says that we cannot waver in our desires. In other words, there can be no doubt. You have to see the answer, feel the answer, surround yourself with the answer, visualize what it is that you want, feel it within your heart, accept it as already present, and then allow it to occur. No doubts. There can be no doubting. How are you able to receive an answer if you're not clear on what it is that you desire? By doubting, we create the opposite desire with the opposite feelings of the desire of our heart. As the passage goes on to say, "He that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let not that man think that he shall receive anything. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." Now, whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. To receive, one must be single-minded in the desired outcome. One must be single-minded in the desires of his or her heart. Once surrounded by your answer, once surrounded by my answer, then we just need to allow, we need to surrender. Let it become your reality. We must feel the outcome before we will experience the manifestation. You know, quantum physics postulates that there are unlimited realities and possibilities in our world. Newtonian physics indicates that our world is very predictable. In quantum physics, the act of observation becomes the outcome of the quantum world. Albert Einstein and Max Planck did some experiments in which they separated particles of an atom and anticipated that they would behave like Newton's apple falling from the tree. Instead, they acted very differently. As they experimented, they realized that these subatomic particles would be wherever they expected them to be. The expectation of the observer created the behavior or activity of the energy. When they were not observing, the particle changed from matter to energy. The particle was changed by mere observation from energy to matter and then back again. In other words, your subjective mind has an effect on the objective quantum world. You cannot do an experiment in the quantum world without a mind present, because it is the mind that very literally creates the outcome of the experiment. What the mind expects is the outcome the mind receives. In other words, that field of energy that is present in all things can and is affected by the influence by our very desires and thought. You split a particle apart and separate them by distance, even miles. Both will react at the very same instant to the stimulus given to only one of the particles. They are connected by that field of energy that permeates all things in the universe, faster than the speed of light. Since we too are connected to this quantum field of energy, and the quantum elements react to the expectations and observations of our mind, surrounding ourselves with our answers, with feeling and emotion, doubting nothing allows each of us to create our reality in any number of ways. Now the illusion is that we do not have a choice. The reality is that we have infinite possibilities. Our minds can change our reality. As Joe Dispenza said, we have to change our minds in order to change our reality. Taking our focus and applying emotion then, we can surround ourselves with our answer and our desire. But we must feel the future we desire before it arrives, with expectation and emotion, grateful that we already have our answer, because gratitude really is the key. You must commune with the energy that exists throughout all creation as a divinely connected creator, as divine creators participating in the outcome of unlimited possibilities, the reality that we choose rather than the reality of our past. So what do you choose? Do we constantly live in the past by choosing to live the same life we lived yesterday? Or do we create our life by creating our world as we desire it to be? We are all creators. Again, what do you choose? What is the answer to your prayer? What are you choosing to raise your vibration by feeling it with an elevated emotion? Are you experiencing your desire in your heart and in your mind before it manifests itself? Are you in gratitude? Because remember, gratitude is the key. We all have unlimited possibilities. Be the creator. Creation is within all of us.